Hi, I'm Ron Corcillo.
And I'm Russ Carney.
We're writers for TMNT, Rise of the TMNT, Lego Star Wars, The Freemaker Adventures, Fanboy and Chum Chum, Breadwinners, and a whole lot more.
And you are watching Amber the Fangirl.
Hi guys, Amber here. Welcome back to In Conversation with ATF. My guests today, or should I say guests, my guests are writers who are best known for writing Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Breadwinners, DC Superhero Girls, Fanboy and Chum Chum, I believe, or was that just Ron? Was that just
Both
you?
of us.
No,
it was
right.
Both of us, and also the 2012 incarnation of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. One of my guests has a webcam, one of them doesn't, so that explains, why there's only two videos but three people. My guests are Ron Corcillo and Russ Carney. Welcome.
Hey.
Yay!
Hello. And yes, Russ doesn't have a webcam, but it's okay because we're gonna have this picture of who did you say again?
Loose Lips Malinowski.
Loose Lips Malinowski in his place, and I'm probably pointing in the wrong way because when I import this onto Zoom, it probably ends up pointing in the completely wrong direction. So anywhere on my screen. So I just wanted to start off by asking you two, how are you?
Well, I'm well. And you?
I'm great. Fabulous.
And
Great.
Ron, how are you?
I'm good. I won't go fabulous. I'm going just good. I don't like to oversell. So I'll go with good.
Well, that's fair. Well, I'm glad you two gentlemen are doing well today. I just wanted to ask you a few questions about your writing credits and also some of your experiences on working on these shows, if that's okay.
Sure.
Yeah, that's fine. We're ready to drag everybody.
Sweet. Right. Okay, so I'd like to start with my first question. Now, I know there's an episode of Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I know very well. It's called Repairing the Baron, and I believe you two wrote it.
Yes, we did.
Wonderful. And isn't that the one with like the three counselors in that big cave, or was that another episode? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I because who voices them three? It's Peter Cullen, Frank Welker, and Susan Blue.
Yeah.
Transformers.
Yeah. So was it your decision to cast them? Well, I don't know. Are you the cast? You're probably not the casting director and stuff, but
that was Ant Ward, I think, pretty much entirely. I think he obviously he grew up enjoying Transformers and things like that. So that was definitely his fanboy moment, I think.
He was like a kid in a candy store.
Oh yeah.
He was just giddy at that record session. To actually work with those three people. It was funny because he doesn't get like that very often. But Ant was as excited as I think I've ever seen him.
Oh, bless him. I presume you two went to it, or did you?
Yeah, we were there for that.
Yep. Were you? Wow. Yeah. And that reminds me, I do have a photo on my phone. You'll just have to bear with me 1 second. It's of a person who was the voice director for the show, Frank Welker, Peter Cullen, Susan Blue, Nolan North. Why was Nolan North there?
He must have done. Oh, was he the voice of one of the there's two guys who come after Baron Draxum at the end from the Hidden City. Those two guys who are also pursuing in the pilot were the ones pursuing Mayhem. I can't remember the names of those two characters.
Oh, right.
He might have been the voice of those guys.
I see.
I think he might have been doing those guys.
I also want to point out about Frank Welker that he did the voice of the Predator Trill, which is not a lot of people know though. I can't do it, but
I've just found this photo. It's of Ant Ward, Nolan North, Susan Blue, Peter Cullen, Frank Welker, Andrea Paulson. You can't really see, but yeah. It's such a good photo. I love that photo to bits. I've interviewed Susan for my channel. I've met Frank in person and loads of times virtually. I've met Peter once virtually. I'm meeting both Peter and Frank in person in October. I've met Nolan in person.
Wow.
I've interviewed him. So that's my little fangirl moment. You know what? I'm gonna have to show you the photo of me and Nolan North just to.
Yeah, go on. It's your show.
Oh,
all of those folks are old buddies too, and it's funny because Rob was directing.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there he is.
We know that guy.
He's so funny. I love him.
Yeah.
Rob was like directing basically people who were his mentors when he was getting started for that episode, because and people who directed him in the past, because those guys go way back. So all those old pro voice actors are buddies, and they all know each other, and it's really great when they get together.
And they all have different like voice bits that they do with each other. Pinky and the Brain come up all the time when Rob and Maurice are in session. They say, well, they say a lot of stuff. Some of it appropriate, some of it inappropriate, but always very funny.
Oh, that's lovely to hear. Definitely. Wow. What a sweet memory. Yeah, I've interviewed Rob as well. Yes. Peter and Frank, I think they're too busy to do my show, but I'm going to try and get Ant Ward on because I want to hear. I want to. So he was the casting director for the show. Am I correct?
No, he was the executive producer. He was the showrunner.
Oh, right. Okay.
Gene Vassilaros was the casting director.
Right.
Wow. Made a good choice there. I tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peter is hard to get. Peter is pretty much retired, but he comes out to do stuff every now and then. Yeah. So
I didn't realize he was like semi-retired. I know he's.
Yeah, it was a big deal to get him for that. That he is not easy to get.
Really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, you know what? I made a big misspeak earlier. I said Frank Welker was the Predator. It was
Peter Cullen.
It was Peter Cullen. My bad. I'm sorry. All of fandom.
It's okay. In fact, I spoke to Hal Rail the other day, who actually played the Predator in the sequel, The Predator 2.
Oh, really? That's
yeah.
When I was a child, Hal lived in the apartment complex next to me.
Really?
Yeah. And it's like, and I remember I still have to this day an autographed 8x10 of a young Hal Rail, and he wrote like the various roles that he played. That was pretty awesome.
In that case, I'll bring it up to him next time I speak to him.
Yeah, he'll have no memory of me, I guarantee that. But it was a big moment for me, when you're a kid and you run into somebody like that. It's like, wow, you do voices.
Fanboy moment indeed.
Yeah.
Ron, I'd like to just quickly go back before we carry on. I didn't realize that Peter was like semi-retired at this point, because I know he's doing the new Transformers film, and I've noticed, like, I've tried to get him for an interview, but his agent says he's quite busy. But if he's like sort of retired at this point, I haven't seen him do a lot of cartoons apart from like Transformers in the films and stuff.
Right. Well, he may just not want to do anything. Like, so his agent may be being nice, but my understanding is he is really just like, it's very rare to get him for anything at this point.
Also, retired people do a lot of stuff. Usually it's fishing or,
yeah, he might be
stuff around the house,
Wow. Indeed. That's actually something I've just learned today as well. I actually have to check how many days I've got until it's in Scotland. It's in Edinburgh. I don't know why I went up right there. 107 days. No, 117 days.
Mm-hmm.
So excited. Back to the interview. Russ, Ron, I'd like to ask you, what's your favorite episode of ROTTMNT that you wrote?
What do you think? Like Pizza Puffs, or it's Hot Soup the Game. I think
my favorite's Hot Soup the Game.
Yeah.
The first appearance of Foot Recruit was delightful for us all.
Yeah, that was just one of those moments that came out of left field. They cast Zelda, and then when she was reading,
Zelda Williams.
We envisioned Foot Recruit being over the top. But what Zelda brought to it was just over the top. Like, I think she was reading it in the booth, and we were like, well, maybe just a little bit more punch. It's like, do you just want me to like scream the entire thing? I'm like, okay. And she did, but wow, just brilliant performance. I love that.
The idea of that episode is that we just wanted one big slapstick fight for the entire episode. Like, it was sort of based on the old Pink Panther movies, where Peter Sellers would fight his like his like manservant in his apartment all the time. They would have these fights just to keep him on his toes. We basically just envisioned making an 11-minute version of that. And that's pretty much what it was. There's a little bit of story, but it's mostly just a big slapstick. So that's one of our favorites. Preparing the Baron, the one that you were asking about, also is a real favorite. I think that we love that dinner scene where Splinter is really angry that he has to have dinner with Baron Draxum. And he has that line about, would you pass the cream corn? We don't have any cream corn. Oh, well, I thought the guy who turned me into a rat could mutate some cream corn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really fun one too, I think.
Wow, that's lovely. Is there anything, by any chance, can you say anything about the movie, or is it just
I can't say with any confidence that I know what is in the movie. I mean, we did look at early drafts of it, and
did you write it?
No, we didn't. We contributed in the writing. There was a time like a couple of months, Ron?
Yeah, I mean, basically they had already done a draft. They were doing some rewrites on it and some punch up and stuff like that. This was probably around 2 years ago. And they brought in some of us who'd been on the show just to help out with some rewrites for a couple of months. It's around like March, April of 2020. So we did some stuff on it then, wrote some scenes and some lines and stuff like that. But it's gone through a lot of change since then. So, because every animated movie does, I mean, once it gets into storyboarding, a lot changes.
Not to mention, I mean, COVID really, that interrupted a lot. You know, they shut down the studio right at the, like April something, May something.
Right, when we were in the middle of working on it.
Yeah. So, and I don't think that they really had the mechanism in place to do, Zoom meetings and stuff for the film. So yeah, it left our contributions basically ended at COVID. And then, yeah, as Ron said, they've been working on it. They were working on it after that.
So a lot's probably changed. I mean, we know the basic plot, but that's pretty much out there right now anyway. We can't tell you details, obviously, because we don't want to do any spoilers or anything like that. It's fun. There's some characters from the show. There's some characters you haven't seen before. There's a little bit of everything for everybody. It's definitely something that you could watch without having seen the show. Just, new storyline, because we pretty well wrap things up on the show for the stories we were doing. But I think you'd probably enjoy it more if you were a fan of the show.
Cool, that's good to know. I'd like to ask about DC Superhero Girls as well. So I believe you guys have written a few episodes for this show. So what was it like to kind of transition from sort of like, well, I know it's sort of like the same, like sort of superhero show and stuff, but like, was it easier to write for DC Superhero Girls, or would you say it was more challenging to write than ROTTMNT?
DC Superhero Girls was pretty easy to write, actually.
Amazingly easy to write.
Yeah. Characters were really well thought out on that show. And their interactions were really great. And they have some great voice actors on that show. And that's really what it's all about. If you have good characters that you like and you can get behind, then it's pretty easy to generate stories and to generate dialogue. So you just know how those characters would talk and how they would behave in every situation. So yeah, we found it a pretty easy show to write for, actually, which I almost never say. I think we probably especially like Supergirl. Supergirl was a great character on that show.
One of the things that was kind of important for me, when I was a kid, my first best friend was my cousin Cardine, and she and I would watch cartoons constantly. And being dumb and young at that time, it was, I'd always be like, I don't want to watch Josie and the Pussycats. I want to watch boy stuff. But obviously my brain has evolved since then, and this was a great opportunity. I'm not bragging.
You've moved up from watching cartoons to writing cartoons.
It was such a great opportunity to tap into my girl brain and help to visualize these characters in that space. And I was very proud of doing it, and especially proud that Cardine would have really dug that. So that's one of the reasons why I like it, but it was very, very fun to write for.
Oh, that's so lovely of you to say, Russ. And yeah, Ron, as you were saying, the voice actors in the show, top notch. Tara Strong, I've been one of my best friends for 3 years this upcoming October. Yeah, she came to London. I went to meet her for her first UK convention appearance, and yeah, we hit it off, and now we practically speak to each other all the time. So
she gets a little bit of work here and there.
Yeah, and also because like the really good characters like Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, they're just so good. Like, yeah.
She's great. But the two shows have a lot in common in that they emphasize the teenage aspect really a lot for both. That was a big thing of Rise of TMNT, was trying to make them look like real teenagers, and obviously that's the whole theme of DC Superhero Girls. So it's actually not that different, I'd say, writing for one show or the other.
Yeah, and I swear, the counselors that Peter Frank and Sue played, like, I swear they appeared in 2 episodes. Did they? I swear they did.
Is it only 2? I think they're more than 2. Like they're in Repairing the Baron. They're in the finale of season 1. You see Baron Draxum's like flashback to like his him talking to the council and trying to convince them that the humans are a threat.
Yeah.
So they're in that one. Are they in? What else are they in? I feel like there's another one that they're in.
I'll have a quick
look. Coogan and Moonin, where we see how the turtles were born. Are they in that one? What's that one called?
Yes, here we are. So they're in the episode. Well, it's as a slash. I presume it's one of the segments. Breaking Purple / Repairing the Baron, Endgame, and Jupiter Jim Ahoy.
Are there Jupiter Jim Ahoy?
Apparently it says that on IMDb. I don't know if it's true or not.
I don't think they're in Jupiter Jim Ahoy.
That
doesn't have anything to do with the Hidden City, but maybe it's whatever episode that was paired with.
Might have been, yeah, because they're credited as the counselors. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah, it might be the episode that one's paired with. I could look that up if you want to know.
Yeah, and what's really cool is that Rob Paulson voice directed the show. Like, he was one of the original Turtles, and now he's up there. He's in Susan Blue's spot because Susan directed the original show. So they've switched roles. That's really cool.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if this is out there. We called them the Council of Heads, right? Wasn't that what we called them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Council of Heads.
The Council of Heads. I think that was another Ant Ward. I think he had a vision for them in particular.
I see. Oh, let's have a look. Oh, I've just found something. Okay, I'm going to save that till after the interview, because I don't want to go too far off topic. I'd like to ask, when did you both start writing for cartoons? Because I know the earliest cartoon is the 2012 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series on IMDb. That's credited for both of you. But have any of you two written cartoons before that?
Yeah, I mean, actually, Fanboy and Chum Chum was our first job in cartoons together. We had gotten together and been writing for a couple of years before that. We made a short film that we took around to film festivals. Actually, we took it to one film festival. We won, and then we decided to stop. And then we started using that as a sample. And at the same time, a friend of mine named Steve Tompkins was running Fanboy and Chum Chum along with Eric Robles, who was the creator. And so he was looking for writers for their second season. So he brought us on for that. So that was actually our first animation writing job. And it was sort of a lot of at that time, a lot of live action sitcom writers were transitioning to animation because there'd just been a writer's strike, and then sitcoms were kind of dead for a little while on TV there. And so a lot of people we knew went to write for animation. So we worked on that show for about a year. And then the 2012 Ninja Turtles series was also run by 2 people I knew from a live action job that I had named Josh Stern and Jen Ventimiglia. They were the 2 writer showrunners on that show. So when Fanboy ended, they hired us onto that. They were both at Nickelodeon.
Cool. And Russ, what's your experience on writing for Fanboy and Chum Chum? Because that was such a good show. I remember watching it when I was younger.
Whoa, excuse me. I have a fly in my throat.
It's okay. Loved it. Take your time.
I loved it. It was so out there. I like really weird and kooky comedy. I like just going really nuts. So that was a lot of fun. There were a lot of moments that, I mean, just were so weird. Like there was the episode, the Frosty Freezy Freaks, yeah, where like if Fanboy and Chum Chum are hallucinating that Boog the bully is a Frosty Freeze drink, and it's just so out there.
I've had a look. It says, "Oh, Brain Freeze." That's an episode I remember definitely.
I think that, well, Fanboy got a bad rap because in season 1 there were a lot of fart jokes and things like that, which I think put a lot of people off. And season 2, in my opinion, it figured out its own voice, and we did deviate from the whole fart thing, mostly out of pride. But the issue is that Nickelodeon was pretty much only airing episodes from season 1, like over and over and over again, and so people only saw those episodes. Season 2 did get released on Nickelodeon, but usually in like these weird spurts, like 10 carts in a week, and then it would disappear, and it didn't get a whole lot of replay, I don't think, season 2. So
right, no.
If you missed those episodes, I think they maybe got kicked to Nicktoons at some point. But I really enjoyed writing season 2, and I just kind of wish that we found the fan base that we were looking for.
There is a lot of fans on Twitter at the moment, like when a series ends and then suddenly years later, whoosh, it comes back as an internet meme, and now suddenly it's liked by everyone all over again. That's literally Fanboy and Chum Chum. Yeah. Have you had people contact you about that by any chance? When the whole surge of Fanboy and Chum Chum memes came back?
No, I think the only person who mentioned it was Steve Tompkins, who was the writer EP on the show. He sent us a text to the effect of, hey, we're back in business or something. I don't remember exactly what it was. It wasn't that.
It was always very popular in Spain.
In Spain?
Yeah, it is. Like there's a lot of Fanboy and Chum Chum merchandise available for sale in Spain, and yeah, it's really popular. I have no idea why. No idea. I mean, Eric Robles is Latino. Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. But they love it in Spain.
We appealed to the Spaniard demographic, the Spaniard sensibility.
Wow, yeah, definitely. You're Mr. Worldwide. Well, I don't know if Pitbull's that, but it's just when you've reached like different heights and stuff like that. I mean, I've done a voiceover job and it's reached as far as Iceland, it's just across the water from the UK, but I've technically been there. Well, my voice has, but I haven't myself.
That's great. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's right there. It's a little helicopter. It's a little one of those corner pointed rides where you put the money in and it moves.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's fun. Yeah, I've noticed that you two have also done a little bit of voice acting as well. Russ, you've been in Fanboy and Chum Chum and ROTTMNT. I need to try and start saying that faster and stuff. Well, and also you've both done I Am Deaf, which is like a film, I believe.
Yeah, that was made by a guy named Paul Orhovic, who actually was the editor on that short film I was talking about before that we did. And he asked us if we'd be in his an independent film that he was making. I didn't do much. I was standing in a bar. I think I had one line to the main character. But Russ, you had a little bit more, didn't you?
Yeah, I played... sorry, I have to watch my language. I played a jerk who is on his mobile phone in the middle of the bar, and he's having some inane conversation with somebody. I didn't see the movie, so I don't know how it turned out, but I at the time I was doing it, I apologized because I didn't want to ruin his movie.
But Russ, no doubt your best work was on Fanboy.
Oh yes. Thank you for the pitch. On Fanboy, I played a bidet, a talking bidet. That was a lot of fun. Where it's just various styles of toilets, or they want Fanboy to sit on them, and so I played the French one.
That was a good one. Yeah, and you were also you were, of course, Loose Lips Malinowski in Repairing the Baron, and all the few episodes in Rise. Is it okay if I just say Rise Of, because it's like hard to say Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or ROTTTMNT?
Yeah, we're not fussy.
I did it because it was just hard because it's like a tongue twister or something. Yeah, So you were in that episode with Peter, Frank, and Sue. Did you record with them?
I doubt it. No, I probably recorded when it was least inconvenient to the people who mattered in the room.
Oh, that's really cool though. Seriously. Ron, would you like to do any voiceover work?
No, I'm not that good at that. Russ is our voice guy, you know. Russ can do a million voices. I don't have the range of my voice that he has. So no, I don't think I would try. Other than, you know, I've stood in there and been a voice in a background of a crowd of people or that kind of thing, you know, but no, not anything legitimate.
That's okay. That's okay. Is there any shows that you two are writing that are not Rise of the movie, Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie, at the moment? Or can you not say? Or is like any other cartoons that are not any of the ones that I've previously mentioned?
We basically have projects that we're shopping around. So I guess we can't really say, can we, Russ? I don't know.
No, I don't know if.
Yeah. So, you know, we have ideas for shows where we've written a pilot or written a Bible or that kind of thing, and are pitching them to networks and studios and such. So they're kind of still on the, you know, on the down low.
Yeah, and we have a potential deal with one series, and you know, we're just crossing our fingers as one does in the industry.
So I'd like to also ask you guys, if you could create your own Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles plotline story, whether it be for the 2018 or 2012 series, what would you create and write, and why?
Wow, that's an interesting question.
If you could choose what characters to have in it, what they do, and yeah,
it's maybe a little difficult because you know, our brain has kind of been outside of the realm of TM, Rise for a little while. I mean, toward the tail end of our time there, you know, we had a couple of episodes that we wrote that we really wanted to see because they were just ridiculous. One would be Dogdale Afternoon. Another one was Gord Almighty. That's in that one, Donnie, using his scientific wizardry, he creates the world's largest pumpkin.
Wants to enter it in a pumpkin contest, but he can't get it out of the lair.
he wants to do it because he has a grudge against Edna Crabtree or something.
Yes, this woman who always beats him in the pumpkin contest, as it turns out. Yeah, we do like those goofy episodes. Yeah, we had one where Dale turns into a werewolf, and one where that one was a lot of fun. And we had one about Mikey becoming obsessed with this, what do you call those toys where you have to take care of it? But that type of toy, anyway. But like, we like the silly ones that are kind of one-offy. We like the big season arc stories too, but the goofy ones are always pretty fun for us. So we're largely comedy guys, so I think my sensibility, at least, is I just give me this stuff where I can make milk come out of people's noses, and I'm happy with that. So it would have to be a storyline that's just over the top ridiculous. I don't know, pick a pairing. Let's say Raph and Mikey. No, I don't. Didn't we discover once that we had never done like a what was it, like a Raph and Donnie episode or something like that? We realized that there were two characters we'd never just paired up in one episode.
Yeah, I think you're on top of that kind of stuff. I
probably it was Raph and Donnie. We never did a Raph and Donnie episode. So I would have liked to have done that.
I kind of just want a Loose Lips Malinowski episode and the Counselor episode.
Russ would have loved that.
Yeah.
The Loose Lips Malinowski biopic.
Look, guy, look, Counsel, I don't got a lot of time to talk about all the, that voice was silly. That was essentially me kind of channeling my dad and my uncle, who, they're all from New York. And my dad, he was a very cartoony kind of person, very, very silly, very goofy at times. And, he always had kind of sleaze bag New York character. He's like, hey, this guy over here, what's he, so that's, your family influences a lot of the voices that you come up with. And that's the seed of Loose Lips.
That's so cool to know. I'd like to round off this interview by asking about Breadwinners and Lego Star Wars The Freemaker Adventures. Working for those shows, writing the episodes, what's your experience with them? Because I know Lego Star Wars has a lot of good cast members in that, like prolific voice actors like Grey Griffin and Corey Burton and many others. So what was it like to work with those? Did you ever meet the cast from any of the shows? Lego Star Wars, Breadwinners, Fanboy and Chum Chum, even any?
Oh yeah, we met on Fanboy. Absolutely, we went to a number of record sessions. Nolan North did a character called Thorvald, who was this shouty Viking. Fanboy, or no, half legs, and flathead, and so it was a lot of fun to watch him do that. And Fergie was on an episode of Fanboy and Chum Chum from Black Eyed Peas. And, that was, we were in the booth for that. And, that was a little bit surreal. Like, here's this internationally acclaimed pop star. And we wrote words that she's going to say, but she was amazing. Yeah, let's see. So we covered Fanboy.
Yeah, you said something about Nolan North being one of the characters.
Right. Yeah, Nolan played a character called Thorvald, who was this really boisterous Viking who would sometimes appear, say, in their refrigerator, because that's a normal place for a Viking to be. And he'd sometimes lead them on weird adventures, or he'd show up in one of their adventures. But Nolan's Viking was like, half legs, flat top. He does it way better. But it amazed us, I think, not only the energy, but the control over his voice, that he could do a voice like that and not have to go to the hospital afterwards and recuperate for days on end. That's something that I think a lot of voice actors have to learn, is how to, because in animation in particular, you have to bring a lot of energy to roles, and often that involves screaming. So much of our dialogue ends in exclamation points. So it can really be difficult for actors. And I don't know how Zelda dealt with it, but she, her over the top energy was amazing and very screamy.
Well, her dad was Robin Williams, so I can imagine she dealt with it on a daily basis.
She got good genes.
Genies, good genies in her.
Good genies. There you go. Let's see.
You were asking about Freemaker Adventures and Breadwinners, and Freemaker was really a great show. We did meet the voice actors, but we got to, one great thing about working for a Star Wars show is you get to go to all the Star Wars premieres. So we met some of them at after going out to eat after seeing Last Jedi and that kind of thing. But it was just. Bob Roth and Bill Motz, who are the creators of that show, really are great guys to work for, and they really understand how to make a show and how to set up like a season-long story and everything like that. And so it was just really great to write for that show. The show had really a great level for us of a mix of comedy and action. It was really funny, but then it would get serious always towards the end because you are battling the evil empire. So that was a great show to write for. Lucasfilm does have a lot of rules, but they have actually just amazing people who track everything that's going on with every one of their shows at once. Leland Chee and Carrie Beck are two of their main story people. Leland is the guy who tracks the entire canon. And so they'll tell you, when you pitch something, oh no, we can't do that because of this thing that we're doing on this other show that we can't tell you about, but you can't do that. But they do manage to put together, what Russ, I think he once called the biggest story ever, basically, and somehow keep track of it all. There was even one episode where it started out on Maz Kanata's planet, which appears in The Force Awakens, but the movie hadn't come out yet, and we weren't allowed to know about it. So we had to write this scene on mysterious planet, and we weren't told where it actually was. That's how careful they are about letting anything leak at all. So we weren't allowed to know. The showrunners knew where it was, and I think they adjusted things in that scene as needed. But it's pretty fascinating working on a show like that.
Yeah, that was I too was extraordinarily impressed at just the level of knowledge, especially for Carrie Beck, who was I don't remember exactly her title role. I think she was a VP in some capacity, but I mean, she knew everything that was going on all of the different things that they were working on. That's just mind-boggling to me because I'm pretty much an idiot and I have a bad memory. So yeah, but it was a lot of fun and very well thought through, the entire story arc. And yeah, Bob and Bill, fantastic guys in general.
That's lovely, lovely words. Have you both met Corey Burton by any chance? Because he was on the show.
No, is he Roger?
I
don't want to speculate. I will just say we didn't meet any of the actors except for
Eugene and Eugene. Roger's Matthew is
he was Corey. Says he was Corey.
Oh, okay. No,
okay.
That's right. Yeah, no, I don't. We did not meet that gent. But we did meet Eugene and liked him in Freemaker, and we brought him on board for Rise, where he was one of the purple dragons.
Yeah.
Wow, I don't know. I'm leaning off to the side there. You have to excuse me.
Matthew Wood. That's who plays Roger. Matthew Wood.
Ah, I see. So you met him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. One thing that I don't know is widely known, but the three members of the Rise Purple Dragons were named after other writers on the 2012 series. There was Jeremy, Jace, and Kendra, and they were named after Jeremy Shipp, Jace Rickey, and Kenny Byerly.
Yeah, there were three other writers on 2012 TMNT.
Wow, I love little Easter eggs like that, characters or places that are named after people who worked on the show, or just people in general who might have been fans of the show or something like that. How about Breadwinners? Russ, what was it like doing Breadwinners?
Breadwinners was wacky and over the top, and it was one of the those shows that I the types of comedy that I really sort of go in for. We were on staff briefly there, so we didn't do a whole lot of episodes, but they were fun. They're fun to write. I think we were only there for a month.
But then we did freelance episodes for a couple months after that. We didn't get much interaction with the voice actors, but Eric Bauza was on that show, and then he, of course, was Splinter on Rise of TMNT. And actually, we first met him. He did a voice on Fanboy of a British waif named Reggie Lidpockets, and he's Eric works all the time. I mean, he is the man of a million voices. He's just one of those super talented guys with amazing range, and he's on everything. But a super nice guy and always willing to help people out. Rusty's helped you out with advice about voice acting and such.
Yeah, he has.
And really, really just likes people. Started out as a storyboard artist, actually. But I mean, now he's just loaded with voice acting work.
Cool, get the guy on my show.
Yeah, you should get Bowser.
I can't get him. He's so hard to reach. I can't even reach out, contact him.
Like I said, he does work all the time.
Well, it's not like him. It's not him being busy. It's literally I literally can't reach out to him. Like everywhere I've messaged him, I've never heard back from him.
Okay.
Which is kind of odd because my friend instantly got a message back. So I was like, oh, I don't know what's going on there. And of course, in Breadwinners, Nolan North is Unsky the Great. Why is it Nolan North is in each and every one of your shows that you've done? Was he in the 2012 Turtles cartoon?
He must have been at some point. He's in everything.
I've got to check now.
There's a certain group of people that work a lot in voiceover. And like I said, there are people who have range. They can do a lot of variety of voices, but they're also just really good, solid actors. Rob is basically the dean of all of them. Maurice LaMarche is another one.
Charlie Adler, we would see often.
Greg Griffin from Freemaker Adventures, but she's in everything. She was on Fanboy and Chum Chum. So, and she's DC Superhero Girls also.
Yeah.
So many of these people just work for show after show after show. They sometimes also they tend to be associated with one network that hires them a lot. So Nolan works at Nickelodeon a lot.
Oh, of course, he was Krang in the 2012 Turtles series.
Yeah. There we go. So so
we would also see Kevin Michael Richardson a lot. He played Shredder in the 2012 series. He was often coming out of the booth or something, some other stuff, some other show he was on. So I mean that's one of the fun things about if you work at a place like Nickelodeon is you do see a lot of these regular actors, or at least back then before COVID. So that was always fun.
That's fair. I just had a question, but it's just completely gone on my head, so you have to bear with me whilst I remember it. Oh yes, I just remembered it. Have you heard of the new Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl game?
I haven't seen it, but I know that that there were a couple of characters that we've written for that are in there. Like I think isn't Fanboy in it?
I don't think he's in it, but they've just added voice acting to the show, so it's got I think Jim Cummings is Shredder. And Cam Clark and Townsend Coleman are in it as who's the blue Teenage Mutant Ninja? Is that Leonardo? Yeah, it's Leonardo and Michelangelo. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Is it a game or a show?
It's a game. It's like a fighting game.
Yeah, that's okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it definitely is. I've got it in my cupboard. Never played it before, but now they've added voice acting, I think I will play it, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I'd like to ask you, what cartoons did you grow up with? Ron?
Wow. Everything. From like your basic like Bugs Bunny and Super Friends, and Heckle and Jekyll, Roadrunner, which I watch now and really I don't like very much, but I used to watch them when I was a kid. I liked a lot of superhero cartoons, Spider-Man, all that stuff. And then of course, as I got older, like The Simpsons and Family Guy and all those great shows. Everything. I'm sure I'm leaving a lot of stuff out, but how about you, Russ?
Oh, all of the ones that you mentioned, definitely Heckle and Jekyll. That's a weird one. Not a lot. I don't think many of the modern youths would remember them. Popeye was a big one for me, and what I liked about Popeye was that he was just a genuinely peaceful and kind fellow who just got pushed too far, and then he would get incredibly violent.
Robin Williams was Popeye in the 80s film, so all links back to Zelda Williams. Yeah,
he was fantastic in that. I don't think the movie.
And it was Shelley Duvall as Olive Oyl.
Yeah, great casting on that. I think it didn't get great critical reception, but I think that the performances were outstanding from a lot of people. Let's see. I used to watch Gem and the Holograms a lot as a kid.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I used to watch Archie and the Archies and Josie and the Pussycats too. And then there were a couple of weird. Oh, Underdog. I love Underdog, and there was one called Courageous Cat that I liked. I remember. That's a
Super Chicken. Super Chicken. Yeah, that was a weird one. I loved it.
Oh, nice one. And presumably like Rocky and Bullwinkle and stuff.
Yeah, Rocky and Bullwinkle too. Yeah.
Yeah, and Jem on the holograms. Yeah, I've interviewed Samantha Newark, who was the voice of Jem. Yeah, she was really lovely. She's from England. She was born and raised in England. Yeah, she had a British accent up until she was about 10 or 11.
You know, periodically I'll see clips from Jem, you know, just as I'm scouring YouTube for the next fix. But the music was actually pretty good on that show. Like, you know, I think a lot of series, especially kids series, they kind of scrimp on, you know, writing quality. I don't mean like, you know, the stuff that we've worked on, but like if they're trying to make something that sounds like a pop song, it you know, it doesn't always land. But they really did a good job in creating music that sounded like it was a band called Jem and the Holograms. Let's see what else. I mean, definitely all of the merry melodies. And what I love about that in retrospect is that a lot of those Merry Melodies cartoons that I watched, I didn't know what anything meant at the time. I didn't know who Humphrey Bogart was. I didn't know who, you know, any of the Clark Gable. It's just obscure references. But then, you know, for me in particular, as I started getting more interested in comedy, you start to piece things together. You know, you'll see Casablanca, or you know, you'll watch a lot of Marx Brothers movies, and you'll be like, oh, so Bugs is like Groucho, or you know, cartoons, at least of that era, they kind of implanted these cultural references in your head, and then it becomes like this nice gift that gives back when years later you're like, you know, okay, now I understand why Jimmy Cagney, you know, was in this cartoon, you know, or what the reference was to what he said.
Whose cat is that?
That's Ron's. Is that Mr. C?
That's Mr. C.
Oh,
Mr. C apparently needs some attention.
What breed of cat is he? What breed of cat is he?
Oh,
hello. What a beautiful little cat. Oh, what beautiful. Oh.
Her name is Mr. C, even though she's a girl.
Mr. C.
That's just because we didn't know when she was a little tiny kitten what gender we were doing.
I love it when little furry friends make appearances on my shows. I've had some voice actors whose pets have come into the room. I know Daniel Ross, who I interviewed, he has a pet bird, and Doug Stone, he has three pet cats. So that's really cool. It's like, is there like an additional guest? I have to talk to Mr. C now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meow. Oh,
he's usually not shy.
Oh, bless. Quickly going back to Popeye, I've just remembered a fun fact. So the baby who plays Sweepy is Wesley Ivan Hertz, who I actually found out is the grandson of Robert Altman, who was the film's director.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was wondering how he got cast in that and stuff. And also going back to Super Chicken and Rocky and Bullwinkle and stuff, can I just say that Bill Scott is one of my most favorite voice actors ever. You know, the voice of Super Chicken, the voice of Bullwinkle. And yeah, just wow. I actually did a 2-hour documentary on him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'll have to send you the link to that. But yeah, he's really cool, and I felt like his legacy had been underrepresented. So I just decided to do something nice. And yeah, Frank Welker contributed to it as well. So
that's fun.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm thinking of doing a little part 2 as well with the additional information. But yeah, Super
Chicken used to crack me up, and especially, you know, his sidekick Fred, who had a backwards F on his sweater. I love
that. To get into his super suit.
God made you another super sauce. I put a little more Tabasco in it this time, though.
You know, the job is dangerous when you took a Fred. I cannot do Bill Scott to save my life. Oh wow, yeah, really good shows though. Yeah. To round it off, I'd like to ask a few quick fire questions, if that's okay with you guys.
Sure.
All right, let's go. Who's your favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle?
Oh, that's unfair.
Well, it would be if there was 2.
I'm not scared. I usually like Donatello the best in the versions that we've done. I've just always found it easier to generate stories for Donatello than anybody else. So I'm willing to go out on that limb and pick Donatello.
Yeah, I'm too wuss to do that. I love them all. Like, for me,
it's like picking your favorite child.
Yeah, exactly. They're my boys.
My children.
Donnie really did crack me up though, and just the way that we pushed him. Oh man, yeah. I guess I kind of lean more toward Donnie only because it's like this stiff character who just goes nuts and for various reasons.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, what's your favorite color? You too.
Wow.
I guess I lean more toward red these days.
I guess I'd say green.
Oh, so I'm in between. Mine's yellow.
All right.
What's your favorite food?
Let's see. I would probably, I don't want to alienate the vegetarians, but I think a nice ribeye steak is
cooked rare rump steak.
Yeah. And Ron is a vegetarian, so I'm insulting him to his face.
That's okay. I guess I would say I'm actually a pescatarian, so I guess I'd say blackened salmon. It's probably my favorite, or catfish. I like either one of those. But I'll also say I love rice-a-roni. San Francisco treat. One of my favorites.
Good choice.
Wow, I just learned something about Ron that I didn't know.
Oh yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, we call it the treat in my house.
Oh,
nice. You have to share the recipe with us someday.
Oh, you buy it out of a box and
right.
Sell it in the UK.
The recipe is water.
Most Europeans would probably be insulted by it, but it's delicious.
Have any of you guys been to England before, by any chance?
No, not yet.
Nope.
I would love to. England is awesome.
My mom was just there. My mom was my cousin just got married there, actually.
Oh.
So she just got back from England and France a couple of weeks ago. About a week ago.
Wow, that's really interesting. Yeah, we'll have to have you over for a convention sometime. It'd be lovely to see you both overseas on the other side of the pond.
It'd be fun.
And I certainly wouldn't get writer's cramp signing any autographs.
Oh, I would be first in line, just saying.
And last, I think.
Yeah, I'll start getting all my Fanboy and Chum Chum stuff signed, and then like my DC Superhero Girls DVDs and stuff like that. So, and final question, what's your ideal weekend activity and why?
Unconsciousness, and because.
Same.
Yeah, I mean, it's
up there.
Things have changed because of COVID, but it's mostly just lounging and occasionally spending time with the family. That's always fun.
How about you, Ron?
I like hiking, but I don't get a chance to do it much anymore. Mostly, I'm with my animals.
I have a dog downstairs. Oh, Mr. C. Sweet little kitty. I have a dog downstairs. He loves cats.
Oh,
I'm not joking, by the way. Like, he hates other dogs, but when he sees a cat, he'll just wag his tail.
Is it the flavor that he finds most appealing?
I don't know, but I remember one time I was walking him and he stopped and he kind of like did that thing where they lie like that looking under a car. I was like, mate, what are you looking at? And he starts wagging his tail. Look under there. There's a big fat ginger cat sitting under there.
Oh.
Yeah, he hates other dogs though. He's I say he's autistic because he's got really bad anxiety, like separation anxiety and stuff like that.
Oh, poor little puppy.
I have a dog who doesn't like other dogs and she tolerates cats, but she doesn't really act like she likes them.
Oh, what breed?
She's more of a people dog.
What breed is she?
She's what you call it, Shawini. She's a Chihuahua Dachshund mix.
Wow, that's so cool.
Where did you find her?
At a McDonald's. She was running loose on the street in Watts at a McDonald's, and she was trying to eat some ribs out of a styrofoam container that somebody left on the ground, so we nicknamed her McRib.
Oh, what'd you say her name was again?
McRib.
Oh, it was a McRib, yeah. I was going to say, I can't remember if you said it before, like the McRib thing was just a nickname for like the actual name.
Oh, that's actually sorry, that's her name. Her name
I see. Russ, real quick, do you have any pets? I forgot to ask.
Yeah, I have cats. I love cats.
Oh.
I love cats and dogs. I'm not one of those people who takes a side, but
Me too.
Cats bring me immense happiness. They're just little fuzzy personalities.
Oh.
And yeah, Mayhem, the mystic creature that April takes possession of, was named after my cat Mayhem.
Yeah, Mayhem, the little cat dog creature from Rise of the TMNT.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's some good trivia. That, yeah, definitely. Yep. Wow, what a way to round off this interview, boys. Yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Russ, Ron, where can we find you both on social media?
Twitter primarily. I have an Instagram, but I seldom post anything on it. But I'm at Ron Corcillo on Twitter.
And I am at RCOA on Twitter. And that's it.
So no website or anything, just Twitter?
Oh, my website is russcarneyofamerica.com. It's basically just my resume.
I see. I'll just put both your Twitters then in that case in the description below.
Sure.
Cool. So to you at home, thank you so much for watching this interview. Go follow Russ and Bron on Twitter, and hopefully you'll be able to see their written scripts be said out loud by these voice actors for many years to come, definitely. So thank you so much for watching this interview. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, share with other Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fans, or any other fan bases that Ron and Russ are running shows for. Stay safe, stay happy, be kind to yourself. That's the thing I've started saying now, because mental health matters. Yeah, definitely. So from all three of us, we'll see you around. Bye.
Thanks, Amber.
Bye.
Bye. And cut.